women with money tend to have a hard time finding a good man, and this I could be wrong, but that's just what I believe. What advice would you give a woman who's already like coming in as a walking ROI or a walking asset, you know?
No. A walking ROI and a walking asset are not the same as a woman who's prepared for the relationship with that man. Let me explain. You were speaking about ROI, right? ROI is an action that I do for you. That's ROI. It is action. You don't get ROI without action. A bitch with bread is a bitch with bread. She could be a bozo. But your money is not what makes you return on investment. The only way that you can show up in the relationship is to determine what he's lacking, what he's missing. Speak his love language. We love throwing that around, right? But that's it's a real thing.
It's real. I love
it. Absolutely. And most people's love language falls on the action side. It falls a lot less on the in the financial aspect or emotional aspect. It is most people's thing is receiving gifts, physical touch. All those things are actions. If I don't physically touch you, then you're not going to like me, right? That's an action. If I don't move and do the gesture and be hyper aware that that is what you like, I'm not showing up for you the way you need me to. So now I'm just a bad bitch with a big bank account, single
And mingling with science teachers.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's true.
Come on.
It's true. It's true. Maybe not even science teachers. The boy who drives the bus.
Shit.
He gets the kids to school. He can't even teach.
I quit. Yo.
It's true.
I mean,
And
you
as
don't know what
we
bus drivers are capable of.
Shout out to all bus drivers and teachers. This is
right.
not...
We need y'all essential workers,
It's
but
just
it ain't essentially gonna be me. You just, if you're a bus driver, you find the equivalent. That 80-20 rule we were talking about.
So, but is that fair to say then that some women don't qualify for hypergamy?
Yes, many women don't qualify. In fact, 90% of women don't qualify for a hypergamous relationship.
Thank you.
90%?
Yeah, until they meet me. I would say 90%. Absolutely.
Start from the top.
I think we heard her the first time.
I want this. No, start from the top.
It's true. 90% of women do not fall into that space of deserving the kind of man that will protect and provide on that level. You might get the guy who will take you to a fancy restaurant. You might get the guy who will throw you $200-$300, but he's not going to spend 20 bands to build your business because you're just not that bitch. First of all, you don't have a business. You don't even mind your business. I feel like we have to be real with ourselves. Before we expect a man to move his money around, we have to be real with ourselves. Check your mindset, check your mental. Where are you at? Are you in a place where you know what you want? Or do you just want boobs and don't even know how much they cost? You want a new car, don't know how much it costs. For real. Like, we want things, and you know what? So I have a book coming out, right?
I was gonna ask you. Do you have? You
know it's on pre-order right now. It's on pre-order.
I was gonna ask you this.
So I'm going to for the first time. The cover of the book is fly as hell, but the title is called "Rich Man Me." And it's because a lot of women walk around and they're like, rich man me. I want to be with a rich man. But they don't prepare themselves.
What?
I said all of my friends are getting this.
I know that's right. It's on pre-order right now.
It don't matter.
SweetToLead.com.
You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right. And so
that's okay.
So
I'm providing
forcing
knowledge.
The drink by creating not just a book, but
like
a workbook. Right. It's like, you know who inspired me? Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone inspired me because if you ever read 10X,
I have not.
You should.
I will.
In each section of the book, there is a
work section.
Check yourself. Yeah. Did you even digest what you just read? Did you even absorb the material?
I'll be reading.
Are you willing to take action on your affirmation, or are you just talking hot shit?
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of us just say spicy stuff, but we're really not about that action. And so this book is, although it is a book, right? It'll be available on Amazon. It'll be available on Kindle. It'll be, We'll make it to Barnes and Nobles eventually. This one's gonna be a bestseller, I'm telling you.
You got my support.
But it walks you through not just what to do to meet rich men and where to go and what time to get there and what to wear and how to attract, but it also walks you through the action steps you need to take to prepare for your millionaire. Because he's waiting for you, but you will never meet him. He will never find you unless you stand up in the room.
It's funny that you say this because Erin has this quote. Shout out Erin the Renegade. Y'all already know who she is at the table. If it can be applied to both, parties in terms of gender, then it should be deemed as a really good, piece of advice. And the funny thing is, like, I didn't have money for majority of my life. I was always an ROI and I was always a valuable person. So I never got denied or I never got shut down by any woman of value.
It's not the wallet, it's the will. And we keep chasing the wallet and you keep chasing the bag, you keep chasing the bread and you'll never catch it. So like I have a whole community, right? A sorority of ladies because I never went to college. I was a high school dropout. So I never went to college. So I created a sorority that gives me a taste of that family, right? And so I make every single student, I hand select every single one of them, right? But they DM put me in coach.
A real personal big time artist had a moment where we share the same security and they were very emotional and they're talking about these women don't love me and da-da-da-da and they just like what I could do. I bought her 4 Chanels and she act crazy. And it's like the craziest thing is a lot of these celebrity clients are really the weakest of men and most vulnerable of men and easily
because they do what hoes do. They lead with money and hoes lead with their mouth, right? So when you come across a man like that, he's leading with his money. Don't be offended when you're treated like an ATM because at the moment you're an ATM.
She put up. What? Put me in, coach.
Everybody's chasing this like feminine thing, and that's what creates a soft life. No, that creates a soft ass. If you're smart, you will be able to communicate effectively with every man in the room, make your point, get your point across. I'm sure there's some things I said you didn't wholeheartedly agree with, but because I can communicate effectively, it changed your perception of what I was saying.
Miss.
You agree with everything?
Yeah, that's the one time you were wrong
today.
today.
Book, just buy the book. I put years of my experience into this book because I'm sick and tired of taking women's money every month for them to not do the work. Pay this $49, bitch, and see if you're serious about this bread and about this bag. Because if you're not, you're going to just fold the pages instead of fold on you, which creates more trauma, right? Like, damn, I just spent $400 and I still didn't meet no man and you still didn't do any of the steps that we gave you to internalize to figure out who you are and what you bring to the table. I teach them how to not only answer that, but discover what that means and what it looks like. And when they realize it, they're empowered. And now I have women who are 230 pounds being flown out to, you mentioned earlier, there's things that a 10 can get away with that a 6 can't. Well, a woman who's curvy, Indian, 230 pounds, right? Very curvy, very voluptuous. She's out on a beach, all expenses paid, with a man who sat there with her for a week and built her business plan. Sat there for a week. She now has shout out to something about Spice. My student now has a business she is building into her first 6-figure company, all because I gave her the tools to understand that relationships have a lot of value if you set the expectation early. Yeah. If you don't, you now spent a year or 2 years with someone who wouldn't wipe your ass if you lost both your hands. And if you set the expectation early, you could buy new hands. Shit.
And that's the thing, like
if you use his money right, you could buy new hands. You know what I mean? You could have a professional, what do they call it? Bidet?
Bidet?
Yeah.
I'm good on that. And it's
Get
funny.
You a real good one. Gold.
Realizing a lot of women that I've dated or started to date and was about to take them serious, and when it clicked to me that their value or their ability to be an asset or an ROI was so low that I wasn't even willing to invest. So but I'm willing to be around. So now I'm giving you least amount of me. I'm being least present.
No, you just wanted more of that piece of that pussy.
No.
There's no other reason why you would keep a woman around that does not give you return on investment unless she's that 10 that gets away with things.
Well, I've had a lot of 10s. I had a lot of 8s to 10s, you know.
Okay.
Majority. Yeah, I got some stragglers in there, but we're not talking about that.
Stop dating women for potential and start dating them for their purpose.
Well, what purpose? The fuck? They don't be knowing their purpose.
Yeah,
Coach,
I've discovered mine. You see me sitting on the couch.
I'm going to send them to you.
Right? You see me here.
Well, start dating girls that are intentional about themselves.
Absolutely.
But being intentional doesn't mean you know your purpose. See, there's a lot of intentional people that haven't found themselves.
Coach, I don't mean to.
Oh, damn, I was getting possible. Whatever, baby.
I was like, damn, Marie.
Like, first of all, I had to put the glasses back on.
Okay.
Where's mine?
Coach, does like love play any role in this equation? Like when we're talking about like all of this and everything like that, does like love get lost in that equation, or that's not even a factor?
So I think we have to define what is love, right? Because, for example, do you love me? And be honest.
You?
Yeah.
No.
No. Why don't you love me?
Well, actually,
I'm
I've
an
grown to love
amazing
you
woman.
I've
I showed
changed
up
my
on
mind.
time. I showed up on time. Why you don't love me?
I appreciate you, but
Yeah.
I don't love you.
Why not?
You ain't do shit for me, Nick.
No, it has
No,
nothing
that's
to do
exactly
with that.
what it is.
You ain't
No,
do a
that's not for
goddamn
me.
thing
So let me
for
explain, right?
You're here
Love
for
her.
like
That is
you showing
exactly-
up.
No. That's exactly what it is. Because this whole time I'm speaking to her soul. What did she say a few minutes ago? Oh my God, I love you. Right? Now, she might not mean I'm going to jump off a bridge for you. Right? It doesn't mean I want to get in your bed with you. But it means genuinely, like, I feel a connection to you that goes deeper than the surface because you've shown me something. You've elevated me. You've spoke to my spirit. You fed me. Right?
You've done something.
So my students, they love me because I changed their lives.
Yeah, I could
Right?
grow to love you.
You could, but not if I don't do shit for you.
No. Like if I'm speaking with you
Nope.
and you move
If I don't
me,
speak to you, you don't love me.
no, because if we're connecting, right? And I'm moved by the things you're saying,
Yes,
and we're
That's
connecting.
an action. Love
is
is an
an
action. If
action.
I don't speak to you, you can't connect with me.
Right. Because
Or if I
no,
say all the wrong shit to you,
we don't connect.
or if I keep cutting you off, which I'm doing on purpose.
You
Right?
were?
I am.
I didn't even notice.
I'm cutting you
First of all,
off.
you suave.
I'm cutting you off
coach.
because
Yeah,
that
we had
shit
a-
is frustrating, right? When people talk to you when you're trying to have a conversation and they keep cutting you off, that shit is fucking annoying.
I swear I didn't even notice.
I know, you're not supposed to notice. You're not supposed to
I'm going
notice.
to tell you like this.
You're not
You
supposed
know,
to get by the book.
I will.
I be
You're
trying
not
to,
supposed to notice.
I was trying to tell them that same exact thing is frustrating, man.
But no, I really
No,
didn't.
but it's
Chimes in to
right.
say that.
If I don't feed you something, there's no love there.
Right.
Love is created out of action. So when we say, does love get lost? Did you ever fucking find it? Was it ever there to begin with? Or were you just emotionally connected to somebody? Did you care a lot? Or did you love me? You see? She's over here evaluating right now. Do I care about you a lot or do I love
am.
you?
How did you know that?
Right?
Were you looking at me?
I'm a fucking coach. That's what I do. No, I wasn't looking at you. No, this is what I do for a living. And mind you, when we talked about purpose, right? It took action to discover what that purpose was. It took experience to be able to tap into it. I am, and I say this because I want people to understand that you can come from nothing and be in the nobody list and make it to somewhere, right? So no education. My vernacular is like that, right? I could do podcasts and kill it, but don't ask me to, spell some shit. My
So I can't text you?
You could text me. I'll voice note it. It's like, no. Seriously, I found my thing. And when you take action in your life, you discover your purpose. And I'm a big believer, right? So even though I cuss, like I said, God's working on my mouth, but he's worked my mind already. And I say that because through my process of discovering me, I realized that like, whoa, I have a really big purpose. And if I tap into this thing that I'm good at, right? Milking men for money turned into hypergamous lifestyle dating coach. It just sounds better. It's the same shit. No, it is.
No.
It is. It's
No.
just in words that you can't digest
The
because of your own
no,
past experiences.
It's not mine. I don't listen. I was never a trick, but
They're all tricks, ladies. Don't let them lie to you.
Nah, hell no.
Tricks.
But what I will say is that, see, and I'm gonna say this. I said this once. I'm gonna say it twice. I'm a principle guy.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the same gestures, and it might even look the same, but the principle is entirely different.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and get the robe on because I need y'all to understand.
Welcome
That-
to the hot club. You
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to talk
yeah.
about? You want to be hot?
Yeah, my back was a little
let
bit
me
on
get this
fire
for you.
already.
Right
Thank you,
here.
darling.
About to be
Thanks, darling.
scorching,
What does this say right here?
About to cook.
coach.
This says, what?
Can you see it? We're getting it rebranded.
Walk with me,
Celebrity.
celebrity.
Yeah, so these are robes that will be coming out as merch very soon. But for right now, my sus sisters, all my ladies in the community, we do morning meditations and stuff.
You ever
What did you
been
call them?
tied
You know what I
up?
like?
You ever been
It
tied
don't
up
come-
by one of these?
It don't come off.
Oh no,
I like
can't.
that.
I've been
I
tied up
can't
by
use-
several things. Shit, used to be tied up by these men.
Hey.
And not in that way. Literally tied up. Tired and tied.
Oh, shit.
Tired.
If you're trying to combine both,
For real.
tired.
Tired. You know what I say all the time to my ladies is that no man is going to make an investment in you that you are unwilling to make in yourself. So if you won't buy the book, if you won't invest in you, in your business, if you won't sit down, and I still to this day, and I've made almost $300,000 this year, I still don't have a business plan, but I have a plan for business. And that's all you need. You don't, eventually you'll need one. You know, you probably should start with one. But if you come from where I come from, you don't know nothing about that. But
Yep.
what you do know is opportunity. And people look down on opportunists. But if you're not an opportunist, you're just stagnant. No, all men are tricks. And it's true. Let's get back to that. Let's rewind that because it
Let's
just popped
circle
back in my
back.
head.
If
Yeah,
I-
let's circle back one time. What did it say? Spin the block?
Yes,
Yeah.
whatever. We don't want to
Yeah,
quote that.
let's spin the block.
We ain't quoting that over here.
Listen,
I'm tight.
I'm tired.
Tired.
We gonna get this by the
No, I'm
end.
saying tight.
Yeah.
I got an accent.
all men are tricks, right? And they're going to spend their money. Either he's gonna decide how he spends it, or you're gonna decide how you invest it. Period. It's going to come out of his wallet either way, because even what we have on the table to drink costs money. That water came out of a bottle. That bottle was probably $2 now. Water is expensive. So you can't
Way
even
more than $2.
No, for real. even to sit in this room and breathe air under these hot ass lights on this couch, with these pillows, all of this is an expense. You decide how he spends it. You take control and set expectations in the beginning, and you can turn a trick into a total lifestyle transformation.
I mean, I don't think. See, here's the thing. Tricks are different, though. Like, I get what you're going.
Tell me, what is the difference?
Well, first and foremost, a trick is somebody who realistically leads with money to just realistically trick his way into getting something simplistic in terms of just your actual physical sex, right? And then that's really the end all be all.
So what you're saying is a trick is all about getting to some in the panties.
Yeah, but it's not about building relationships.
Okay.
There's not like it can turn into that, right?
Uh-huh.
Which most tricks eventually want the person that they've invested. Really, they only want the one who finessed them for the most amount of money to be in the relationship.
Yeah.
But most tricks, like if I see, like, you know what I'm saying, hey, look, I give you $100, that's cool. That's as far as it's gonna go. Some tricks would be like, yo, here's 20,000. And then when the 20,000 turns into 100,000, you're like, wait, nah, I didn't pay the 100,000. She needs to be an ROI.
Exactly.
So, but not all men are tricks, and I think not all men lead with money. And in my personal opinion, in my personal experience.
So
now-
let me tell you from a woman's perspective, right? Because that's from a man's perspective what a trick is. A trick is a man who spends his money
at all.
at all.
That's foolish.
No, it's a trick.
No, you.
No, it's a trick. Like literally, if I can get you to spend some money on me, I just tricked you into spending money on me. If I don't give you anything back, if I don't give you a return on investment, right, that ROI, it's a trick. It's like magic. Like, damn, how did she do that? That's why they end up $100,000 later, and they're like, how how did that happen? They start calculating it up.
Nah, but he got tricked. She
Even-
was, see, this is the thing. The trick, right? I love this word.
It's like the word just has so many
Yeah,
different meanings.
Because like the thing is,
See, because words only have the value that we give them.
Yeah.
Realistically. So
Yeah.
what his perception of a
amount.
trick is,
Yeah.
right, is different from our perception of what a trick is, or your perception is different than mine, and it's because words only have the value that we give them.
No, because the thing is, yes, you're right. In a general sense, yeah.
mhm.
But the difference is like, because here's the thing. If I'm spending money on you, and you're in love with me, like you're in love with me because of whatever I had provided, I'm not the trick. You tricked yourself if I don't like you. See, the trick is the fool. You understand? So if I'm the guy who's spending money and I'll keep on spending more money and she's leading me down this rabbit hole, I'm the one that's tricked.
Okay.
But if I'm spending my money and you just keep on eating it up and loving me, and now you allow me to do whatever I want to you, to a point where you really have no moral standards for your own self, because my standards come before yours, you're the trick.
Okay.
See, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't like to blend.
But it still stems from
money.
The man spending money.
But this is
the
what
man spending money.
But this is what I was
the
saying.
The woman taking it.
Yeah.
The man spending it.
And I agree.
So realistically, if he's worried or concerned about the amount of money or how much he spent or whether she is madly in love or not, right? Because love is free. You can literally give love for nothing. It's free.
Yeah.
Because unless you tie it to an action, right, which can also be free. It could be simply us sitting here and somebody goes and gets a fan and puts it on the floor, and now we love them, right? Because they provided cool air, right? Example. But if a person is absent in the relationship, right, whether there's love attached or not, because it's really, she's not in love with this man. She is in like with what he does for her. She's not in love because the actions are not the same on both sides, right? It's a one-sided relationship.
I mean,
that's where the trick comes in. All she has to do is show up, and he keeps giving.
But that's not always true, and I think you're talking from a privileged point.
Okay.
Because there's a good percentage of men who don't spend money. There's a good percentage of women who I've personally come across that won't even allow you to spend money.
Yeah,
on.
that's because they have independent woman syndrome.
Well, I mean, whatever it may be,
Exactly.
I
That's why.
don't want to say they have independent woman syndrome. I think that they also don't want to be blurred with the women who are just want to come off as users.
Because they've been shunned and told that you're not supposed to use a man for his protection and being able to provide.
Well,
no.
no.
Supposed
Wait,
to
stop.
take his money.
Whoa, see, now I'm taking my words back.
Go ahead.
We're not gonna blend. We're not I don't want to blend the lines, right? Now, some women want the protection and they want you to provide too, but they're not leading with that first. Some women especially women that I come across, they're leading with, this is what I, in a sense, bring to the table, right? This is what I'm capable of. This is who I am. And showing their real character, which we agree that most women don't, or most people don't. And showing their real character, they allow a person that they deem are valuable, because not every man they're going to give that version of themselves to eventually decide. And then, hopefully, in a perfect world, it's being reciprocated on both ends. So, like, when I hear everybody's a trick, it's like, nah, certain men, and a good amount of men are tricks. But certain men, like, there's men that I know that are rich that won't spend $1 on a woman until he finds out what she's really going to be about.
Until she gives him a reason to spend it.
But this is what I'm saying. So at that point, are you a trick? Or are you actually a smart investor? Because if I'm actually if I'm going to withhold whatever I got to give you, especially if it's more than what you have to give me. Right? Until I can kind of see what you're capable of, I don't mind investing into anybody. I think if you said most men are investors, I would say 1,000%.
You're using a word that makes you more comfortable.
No, I'm using a word that has different principles.
For you.
Because
No,
trick
no.
has
And
a like
definition.
A
the
negative
raga-
connotation, but isn't that
No,
what we're doing
guys,
in the
wait,
taboo
hold on.
in the taboo setting,
Do
right?
we want to argue about etymology
I
here?
don't want to argue at all.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, that's not up.
But
my
why? Argue and debate could be the same thing. It's just what you
I don't
placed
want to
on
debate
argue.
or argue. I want to
Okay.
come to a
Discuss.
satisfactory solution. Knowing where you're at, but also a blueprint and a map out of where you want to go. If you give this man a plan, he now has a purpose to invest in. But if you show up and say, I want to start a business, what's the first question? If I said to you, you and I are dating,
Yeah,
we're out on a date, and you say, so what do you do? And I say, well, right now I'm a doctor, but I really want to start my own business.
Yeah, but like,
What's the next thing out of your mouth? What's the first question you ask me?
The first question I'm gonna ask is, what business?
What business?
Yeah, like,
And most women stop there because they don't know what business.
no, they be like, I'm on a boutique and I want.
I want to sell
Okay.
here.
I want a
I'll be like,
boutique.
what?
See, I want is a deadly disease. I want is a deadly disease because we always want, but we never will. Meaning, we want a boutique where? I don't know.
Wait,
How much
so-
is the storefront? I don't know.
Wait, people just
E-commerce.
say I want to start a business with no concept or idea.
It just
or
sounds like
Abs-
a
it
good
just
idea.
sounds
No,
good.
like
absolutely.
I just want to. You don't
start
know what
Absolutely.
business.
Correct.
You have no background.
Correct.
You have.
Or even
You
if
just
they
say,
do
I
have
wanna
an
do the
idea,
work.
they
They
don't
say,
have, they don't have.
I want a man to buy me a
Any
house. Where do you want to
information.
live? I don't know. How much is the house? I don't know. How many bedrooms does it have? Well, I don't know.
You know what my I
You like
get-
the idea.
You
of
know
it.
what
Are you even prepared to go onto the car lot with credit, or do you just want a new car? If he's not buying it in full and he's going to finance that shit, the bank is going to laugh you out the building with your 404 credit score.
You know where I have a disconnect with is that I feel like if a woman, well, not if, because it has happened, but like a new question, I think, besides me asking what business, the best way a man needs to approach before he's going to invest into any woman. If a woman says, hey, and especially as a new woman in his life, hey, I want to start a business. Instead of asking what business, I would now consciously think about it. I would ask, what have you accomplished? Because I don't care
That's
what
the second question.
but that's the first, because what you've accomplished will shed light on what you're capable
That's
of.
the most important question, but that's
Yeah.
never the first one.
No, I'm saying, but that has
Yeah.
to be the. I'm just doing some reprogramming right
no,
now.
absolutely, 100%, 100%. And this is what I do with women.
But a lot of them never
the
even
brain.
accomplished anything.
I retrain the brain.
You
They
gonna
need to
tell-
buy
you-
the
you
book.
teaching them to lie?
By the book. No, absolutely not. I teach them I give them the tools that they need to actually take the step. They don't take the step because they don't want to. They take it because they don't know how to. Nobody's ever taught them how to start a business. What do I do first? I want a boutique. What do I do first? I have no idea. They'll sit there with 7,000 pieces in inventory and don't know how to actually ship the shit out. Do you know what I mean? There's nobody, because you know why? The people that we watch and emulate that are wearing all this fake shit on TV and whatever, we emulate these people. We want to be like them, but we have no idea that those people have a whole team behind them to help them get there. You know what I mean? The big names, the people that you follow, the influencers, myself, I have a whole team behind me. Right? If I didn't, there's no way I would be here because there's things I do not know. I just hired a company to work with in my business that I've always been a one-man show. Hired a woman who's got a team of people behind her. It was the best decision I ever made because now I'm learning things that I never knew before. This robe is being worn right now because of her, because she taught me about branding the right way and about people seeing the girl in the robe. Nobody else is showing up in a robe on a pot. It's a brilliant. She's teaching me. You see,
But
I didn't know about these things before, so they weren't implemented. Not that I didn't want proper branding, not that I didn't want to show up like Keisha Kaur on Instagram, right? But I didn't understand how to do that within my budget and my bank account. Nobody is sharing that information.
So
They'll
what-
sell you the tea, but they won't tell you where it came from.
Okay, so I have so many questions now that I'm out of like my awe. Now reality's hitting me, Coach Lee.
Okay, talk to me.
I just want to hear the questions.
Well, there's a couple. So the first question I'm gonna ask is, okay, now, let's put you at this point, right? And I believe it, so I'm gonna say it. Where you're successful and you're well off in life, and to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of it initially stemmed with the investment of your man.
Okay. It did.
How do you repay him?
I eliminate all of the burdens in his life that he has right now. He's got a really hard job. He's in luxury design and construction. He builds some of the most beautiful buildings in the skyline in my city, right? And the most beautiful homes, ours included. And that's a hard job. And I know he's not happy, because who wants to go to work every day versus this being your job? You know what I mean? This is literally my job. I get paid for this. I'm going to teach him how to do what he did for me for thousands of other women all over the globe, and do it from a cell phone, because he doesn't know how to do that. You understand? So he taught me the things I didn't know how to do to build this from a cell phone, because I knew that.
Right.
What he doesn't know is how to create that lifestyle for himself from a cell phone.
It's fair to say he's not a trick. He's a pimp. Because realistically, he taught you how to make money so he can stop working.
That's not why he taught me how to make money. He taught me how to make money so he would have to stop, so he wouldn't have to pay for all of the things that keep me alive.
But the end goal is?
No, this is going to be a challenge. This is going to be a challenge.
That was a good fight, but you know what? I'm
gonna
gonna tell you like this.
I mean, without knowing my man, it would be tough, and that would be the assumption. But when you have a man like mine, he
can't do his job forever,
providing, not unless I teach him how to do it like me.
Well, I mean, he has
then
no
he
choice.
can put me on private jets versus fly on mine.
I hear you. Listen.
You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying,
so
but
the reciprocity is real, and if it's not real, then you could call it a pimp, you could call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
However, what you can't call it is broke.
Hey, I'm with it.
Can't say that.
But what I will say is that's gonna be the fine line between somebody who's a trick and somebody who's a pimp, and we're using it based off the terms.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying? Because a pimp goes ahead and he makes up somebody.
Right, but hold on.
Makes somebody make money.
A pimp creates the plan. That's why he gets paid. He does.
No. Stop it. Nope.
Let me finish.
I will not.
Okay, all right.
I will not.
All right.
A pimp provides opportunity.
The plan.
Opportunity.
He tells her what block to go to, what calls to take, how to take them.
Sometimes.
He may even take her to make sure she stays protected and get herself checked, because he's probably smashing it too. Right? There's things that he puts in place. There's rules, regulations, what time you're coming in, when you're leaving. That is a pimp.
Not all the time.
A pimp is a process.
A pimp is not a process. Not all pimps have to supply structure for exact outlines to follow. And
that's
guys,
why they fail.
No,
those are the pimps that don't really do well.
The pimps that do well, puts the person in position and allows the person to do what they need to do, and they know how to do it.
I disagree. My daddy was a pimp, so you can't tell me. Men don't want a woman that can do the things they can pay for already. They can pay for meal prep. They can pay for a clean house.
Stop quoting me, man. Stop quoting me.
I was just about to say,
24.
Rico has said this on our
24, 25.
on our episode of what women bring to the table.
Right.
He's like, I can pay for this. I can pay for that.
No,
I can
you
pay for
can.
that.
You can. And men don't give a shit about. There's too much opportunity out now when all you have to have is money to have solutions, right? So you pay for someone to cook and clean and do all those things. You don't need that. What you need is someone who's going to be fruitful in the relationship. And that doesn't always mean a businesswoman, right? It means a woman who eliminates the headaches. Because if we can fix what hurts, you will continue to help.
You know,
Oh,
what's fruitful to let's take
It is subjective now.
No, of course, that's why I wanted
Fruitful
to ask.
is absolutely subjective.
Well, no, that's actually what I was gonna do. I want to take a second of this conversation to ask the panel, what is fruitful to you?
To me? Oh, I thought
I
we
was
were
about to
starting
say,
with
I was
everybody.
like, well, you
Amanda-
started with the word, so
Well, you and Amanda, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like, you know, I'm just asking because could be something insightful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
And don't say money.
fruitful, no, it's not money. Don't be trying to frame my answers.
I'm just saying.
So look, fruitful is productivity and growth. If you are not being productive in the relationship, if there's not measurable action and success and a story, that means that we are purposelessly dating.
what do you mean in a story?
I was able to tell you about my man and how he built me and how we got to this point. That's a story, right? If he was just an ain't shit ass dude from wherever, there's no story. And if there is one, it's tragedy to tragicness. It's just there's no glory.
Traumatic
There's no
bonds.
right, traumatic
no
bond, yeah,
glory.
trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Right.
no
So
glory.
but if there's measurable success stories, if there's measurable change, if there is a measurement to the goals, now you never have to worry about being fruitful because you can measure, you can look at it, you can see it, you can feel it.
It's tangible.
Right? It's tangible. My man created the opportunity for me. He didn't write my business. He don't write my words. He don't participate in my business like that. He also owns 0%. So yeah, women are not qualified to date the kind of men they want to meet. And if you want to meet a rich man, you have to elevate who you are in order to date different.
Facts.
And there's no roadmap for that up until now.
And the keyword is who you are, not what you have.
Yes.
Oh, no, for sure.
So like,
Yeah.
and that's
Absolutely.
the thing, and I think that's where a lot of people get confused because they try to upgrade what they have or where they're at, but they're still not upgrading who they are. So it can't be
they'll buy a
sustained.
condo that they can't afford. They will buy
the
shoes
bags, the shoes, and they'll make.
Well, they don't really
like
buy
the-
it. You think
Listen,
they buy it?
there is Chanel bags on the
creating this
floor of
persona.
42C right now.
Wait.
Somebody is living on floor
There's no judgment.
on
This is
floor
real life.
42
This is
in
real life.
apartment C, sharing that
was like,
condo,
what?
sharing that penthouse with their best friend, and have Chanel bags on the floor because their closet didn't come with shelving. Like, to me, that's ass backwards.
I think you gave him too much with the penthouse. I was gonna
No, because that's what they're doing. Because they want you to see. Listen, I know people right now that are living this way and cannot afford
It's
their
not
lifestyle.
in the tri-state because a penthouse out here is far too expensive.
Listen, in Atlanta,
what it
it's
is?
everywhere.
In Atlanta, you could probably get one for
They'll get an
5 bands.
apartment
bands.
with
I was about
like
to
really
say.
Atlanta's
tall,
cheap. A
Yeah,
penthouse
they get
ain't really.
almost floor
Listen,
floor
yeah.
to ceiling
No,
windows.
they'll get
almost.
literally homes that cost $4,000 a month, split that shit with their best friend, and then turn up on a bunch of dudes to get a couple dollars from this one, couple dollars from this one, and put their rent money together.
You know what's crazy? Like
That's real. That's
that
real
only
life
exist-
for majority of women. And I used to look at these influencers like, wow, I want to be like that. Until I realized that bitch was homeless.
Well, she wasn't homeless unless she was in Jersey and New York, maybe
mean,
L.A. In Atlanta,
homeless.
in Atlanta, it don't take much for you to get money.
I mean, that's
So you can afford a penthouse for $4,000 in Atlanta. This is crazy.
yeah.
Well,
They got
no, they make it look good.
Yeah, they do.
Like I'm telling you, there's this one influencer I know. Like her apartment looks so nice, but it's only because she takes all her content and her pictures in this one area where she has like a large window, so it looks like floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
But it's Flatbush.